Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is now the afternoon time in my office. So, right now, I'm gonna share to you all about my individual tasks in the corporate finance class. The professor is Professor Roy Semble. So, yeah, I am the MBA student class of International IPMI Business School. So, right now, I'm gonna break down the topics that I've already learned in the corporate finance class. Okay, I'm going to talk about the ancestor of the presenter, which is me. So, Professor Roy once already shared to us that the ancestor of us is Professor William Sharp UC, is the Nobel Prize in 1990, which is the CAPM, is the William Sharp that he's already discovered and invent. So after Professor William Sharp, there is Professor C. Y. Huang, which is in the University of Dalhousie. This is the UPIT. Is the student of Professor W. Sharp, which he is become the second generation of the Nobel Prize of the inventor of CIPM in the William Sharp. And then the third generation is the Professor Roy Semble, which is my mentor. He is the third generation. He's the student of Professor C. Y. Huang. Yeah. And then there goes me in the fourth generation, which is I studied at IPMI, and my mentor is Professor Roy Semble. So these are the ancestor of uh, me, the presenter, about talking and explaining to you about the material of the corporate finance that I've already learned. Start. I want to show you that Professor Roy Semble has already showed to us before. So let's take a look in this picture. There's a fish picture and there's something odd in the picture. I give you 30 seconds to find out what is in the odd, what's odd in this picture. There's something odd in this picture. I will give you 30 seconds to find out. I hope you find it because none of us can found it before in his class. So if you found it, then you're amazing. All right. The time is up. I'm gonna give you the answer of it. So in this picture, in this fish picture, other than the fish, there are bird in there. If you look at it in the picture, there I've already circled it in yellow. There are birds in the black picture, right? So if you can see it, there is bird picture in there. So what is this picture meaning? So the picture meaning is sometimes we only see the bigger picture in our life. So if we want to grow, if we want to be more developed than our before, then we have to be aware on the opportunities that is actually already among us. That is actually already in front of us. So we all we have to do is just realize, and all we have to do is just um, to be awake to the opportunities that is already there so we can execute it and keep continue to grow to be better day to day uh, than our before. All right, that's some intermezzo from me, from what I got from Professor Rosemble that I want to share to you all. So I'm gonna explain and I'm gonna break down the four topics what I learned from the corporate finance class that is mentored by the Professor Roy Semble. So the first one I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna break to you all is the five Ramcharan business essentials, and the second one is the principal agent problems, and the third one is capital asset pricing model, which we know as CAPM, and the fourth one is net present value, or maybe you ever heard it before, is the NPV, the net present value. Alright, so this is the mind mapping ideas that I already created. The corporate finance is will be talking about the once again the capital asset pricing model, the CAPM, and the five Ramcharan business essentials, and then the principal agent problem, and then there is a net present value that I'm gonna break through. All right, I'm gonna talk about the five Ramcharan business essentials. So who is Ramcharan? Ramcharan is the businessman from a successful businessman from India. He is writing a book called What the CEO Wants You to Know. So he is share to us what the the five core things that the business should run. So Ramcharan is a renowned business advisor, author, and speaker. Has distilled his extensive experience into key principles essential for business success, while his teaching encompass a broad range of business aspects. Five essentials business principle of often highlighted by him is included. The first one is talent management, and then there is customer focus, and then there is operational excellence, financial discipline, and strategy agility. So, what is the meaning of talent management? So, Ramcharan emphasized the importance of attracting, developing, and retaining top talent. He believed that people are the most critical asset of any organization, and that effective leadership is crucial in nurturing talent and aligning with the company goals. So, what the Ramcharan means in here, that the human resource are actually is really important for the business to be growing and the business to be successful. So if we want to make a business, make sure you have a right person, you have a talented person, and so the business can grow time by time, and then in the right time, the business could be successful. The second one that Rancharan talk about is the customer focus. So the customer focus here is understanding and prioritizing customer need is central to Charan philosophy. He advocates for a customer-centric approach where business continually innovate and adapt based on customer feedback and changing market demands. So the second one is the customer focus. So what the Rancharan here means is to provide what customer want, to be to give the best of the product to the customer, so the customer can repeat their order, and then it will significantly making the company to be successful again. The third one is operational excellence. So operational excellence means is efficiency in operation is a key focus area. Charan stressed the need for business to streamline process, reduce waste, and continuously improve their operational capabilities to stay competitive and profitable. So the third one is operational excellence, meaning that we have to maintain our operational efficiency. So don't spend too much, because spending too much mean reducing of the profitability of the company. So if you want the company to be grow, if you want the company to be more profit, then you have to efficient the operational, don't be in Indonesia word is head on, don't be so boros, because we don't want that. We want to be profit, and then we want to be the company to be grow, right? The fourth one is the financial discipline. Chara underscores the importance of maintaining strong financial health. This includes rigorous financial planning, prudent investment strategies, and effective cost management to ensure long-term sustainability and growth. So we have to discipline too in the financial. Uh, Prioritizely is the cash flow. So we have to manage the cash flow, so we don't go bankrupt, or even we go the lack of cash while the company is still running, right? So the last one is the strategic agility. It means that in ever-changing business landscape, Ramcharan highlights the necessity for companies to be agile and adaptable. This involves anticipating market trends, making informed strategic decision, and being able to pivot quickly in response to new opportunities or challenges. So in this meaning that the company have to adapt to the global changes in the world. After we talk about the Rancaran five business essentials, I'm gonna talk to you about the principal agent problem. So what is the principal agent problem means? The principal agent problem means is a situation where one party, which is the principal, hires another party that we call the agent or the employees to perform a task on their behalf. But the problem occurs because the principal and the agent often have a different goals and level of information. So if you can see in the picture right here, in the right side is the agent, the agent meaning is the employee, and the left side is the principal. They both have the self-interest. The principal wants to gain their profit, right, from their money invest for they invest money, but the agents want to gain money from their salary, bonuses, or many more incentive, right? So this meaning that why this problem is happening, because are four things that uh, this problem happen. Because the first one is different objective. The agent and the principal have their own self-interest, which is I've already mentioned before, that the agents want the higher salary, the more bonus, and something else that their incentive want. But the principal want that the company value will be become higher, right? So if the company value become higher, they get more profit from them, right? From the shares. Okay, and the second one is the information asymmetry. So what this means is the principal is owning the company, but the information that uh, the information the agent have is more than the principal have, right? The agent typically has more information than the principal because the agent is the one who is doing the business actually, right? So the third one is the moral hazard, which means that there are in this world there are so many different character of people, right? So we have the principal have to pick the right agent, right? So the one who can run their business uh, growthly, right? And the last one is because the adverse selection. The adverse selections meaning the principal may not have enough information to select the right agent. That's why the headhunter department is there, because the principal expecting that the headhunter chooses the right agent to grow their company. So what is the solution from this principal agent problem? There are two solutions according to Professor Roy. Uh, the first one is to monitor the agent. The principal have to monitor the work of the agent, and the second one is the incentive. So the principal don't be stingy to the principal, because if you see the agent is doing a great work, please I don't know, you can give them incentive by giving them bonus or giving them performance reward, and or higher their salary. That's one of the incentive solution. So that the principal agent problem cannot be eliminated, but it can be mitigated by the two method that I've mentioned before. Okay, that's the principal agent that I've learned from the corporate finance um, class. Okay, the third topic that I'm gonna break down is the capital asset pricing model, which we know it as CAPM. So what is CAPM? CAPM is a calculation, actually an equation that describe the relationship between the systematic risk or the general perils of the investing and expected return for asset, particularly stocks. It is a finance model that is established a linear relationship between the required return on an investment and risk, right? So there are I highlighted three takeaways for CAPM. So the first one is the capital asset pricing model, or CAPM is financial model that calculate the expected rate of return for an asset or investment. The second one is CAPM does this by using the expected return on the both market and the risk-free asset, and the asset correlation or the sensitivity of the market, which we call it as beta. So there are some limitation to the CAPM, of course, such as making unrealistic assumptions and relying on linear interpretation. So we cannot just rely on this calculation because there are, of course, there are missing factors that CIPM doesn't include, right? So the formula is as shown to the slide below. There are ARI, ARI is the expected return of investment, and then there are RF. RF is the risk-free rate, and then there are BI. BI is the beta investment, and then there are the market risk premium as the formula shown below. So these are the capital asset pricing model figure. As you can see, that the market portfolio is right there, which is the market portfolio is the CAPM, and the other is the component of how to get the CAPM. I give you the CAPM equation example. So imagine as an investor is considering a stock value at $100 per share today that pays a 3% annual dividend. The beta is 1.3. Also assume that they expect the market value, which is the market value is IHSG, will rise by 8% per year. This is expected. Yeah. So the CAPM will be 9.5%, as you can see in the slide on the slide below. So the last topic that I'm gonna talk to you about is the net present value, or we can know it as NPV. So what is NPV? So NPV is the difference between the present value of cash flow and the present value of cash over a period of time. NPV is the result of calculation that it find the current value of the future stream of payment using the proper discount rate by simple meaning that the value of money today compared to the value of money 2 years in the future is different because the value of money of 2 years in the future has less value than today's value. Because by example, if we have $100 today, the $100 won't be the same value as the $100 today in the next 2 years. So there are three takeaways again on the NPV. So the first one is the NPV is used to calculate the current value of a future stream of payment from a company projects or an investment. And the second one is to calculate NPV. You need to estimate the timing and the amount of future cash flow and pick a discount rate equal to the minimum acceptable rate of return. And the third one is if the NPV of a project or investment is positive, it means the return will be above the discount rate. So the result will be positive, negative, or equal to zero. The good one is actually the positive NPV. The bad one is the negative, and the yang constant is actually the zero one of the NPV, right? So let's talk about the how we can get the net present value. So the formula is shown as the slide below. Then the formula to get the long-term project of the NPV with multiple cash flow is as shown below. The RT is the net cash inflow minus outflows during the single period of T. And the I, the symbol of I meaning the discount rate, and the discount of T is the number of the time period, right? So the NPV equation example, I will give you an example how to calculate it. So imagine a company can invest in an equipment that would cost the $1 million and is expected to generate a $25,000 a month in revenue for 5 years. So the equipment expected to give the revenue to the company $25,000 per month with a period of 5 years. Yeah, and the company could invest that money in securities with an expected annual return of 8%. So from this example, we can get that the CapEx, the capital expenditure of the company is $1 million, and the expected revenue is 25,000. And the time period here is the expected revenue time period is 5 years, meaning that 5 times 12, which means will become the 60 periods. And the discount rate, this is the equation how to get the discount rates is 1 plus the expected annual return of the company, and then it will be diakarin dengan 1/12, and then will be minus by 1. It will get 0.64%. Okay, this is the answer of the equation. So the equation of the NPV example are calculated as below. So we just put the number according to the NPV formula. So once again, the $1 million is the capex, if you can see in the previous slides. And after we put on the formula, the total return is 1.242 and 322.82. So it will get the 242,322.82, which means the equation is a positive net present value. So the conclusion from this number is the NPV is positive, meaning that the equipment should be purchased because uh, it is profitable for the company. So what if the NPV is negative? Then the investment would not have been made sense because it's not worth it to be purchased. Because if you spend your money to $1 million and then the result is, for example, is minus $500,000, don't invest on it because you just will be losing money instead of getting it, right? Share to you all about the 4 topics that I'm already talked about. The first one is the 5 business essentials, and then the principal agent problem. The third one is CAPM, and the fourth one is NPV, right? So what is the summary and the further learning for us from my video, right? For the first one is the 5 business essentials by Ram Charan, which is sales management, customer focus, operational excellence, financial discipline, and strategic agility. And the second one is principal agent problem. It's a conflict interest, right, between the principal and the agent. The problem cannot be eliminated, but it can be mitigated by the principal on monitoring on how the principal monitor and incentivize the agents. The third one is CAPM. CAPM, in a nutshell, is a method to determine the expected of return of an investment, giving its risk relative to the market. And the last one that I've already explained about is the NPV. NPV is once again a financial metric by providing a quantitative measures to evaluate the profitability of an investment or project, because the value of money to use in the future is weaker than the value of money today, is by example. So this is about to be the end of my video. I got these beautiful quotes by Benjamin Graham that successful investing is about managing risk, not avoiding risk, right? So if you want to get more money, you have to anticipate the risk, because in this world there are no risks. There will be always a risk, right? So you cannot avoiding it. You just have to maintain the risk. You just have to mitigate the risk. This is such a beautiful quote by Benjamin Graham. So this is the end of my video explaining to you all about the corporate finance that I've learned in the corporate finance class of Professor Roy in IGMI. I hope you like the video. I hope this mind mapping video helps you to get more education about the corporate finance things, especially in the 4 topics that I've talked about. So if you really like the video and you want to know about the further information about my education, maybe you can please like my video, or you can share to your friends, or if you will, please subscribe to my channel so you can get update on my next content. Right, so this is the end of my video. Thank you and goodbye, everybody.